Welcome back to our program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Rui Guo. We will continue our discussion with Mr. Gerard Hei, who is the president of Dale Carnegie Training Program here in Taiwan. Gerard, you mentioned that you have multiple roles within the Dale Carnegie Training Institute.
Right.
That you are also a trainer yourself. Can you then share with us what are some of the classes that you teach, and are the classes interrelated in some ways in terms of their contents or in terms of their orientation?
Okay, yeah. Actually, we have three business areas here in Taiwan in the Dale Carnegie Training. The first area we focus on the corporate sector, where the company would talk to us about their specific goals they want to achieve. And for example, 2 or 3 years ago, the banking industry really wants to train everyone so they become more willing to go out and proactively sell to their clients, or they're making that transition. So we would design programs to help their people, gain the skill they need. The second area is our most traditional program, which has been running for almost 100 years. It's the public program. There are classes in presentation skills, communication skills, and selling skills, leadership skills, etc.
That's open to the public.
Open to the public. So some people would sign up for these programs and pay for by themselves.
Of course.
And there's some small and medium-sized company. They would send people, send their managers,
sponsor them.
Yeah, sponsor them to come to our program.
And
then there's a third program which is very unique to Taiwan, which is the youth program, where the high school and college students will take the Dale Carnegie program that we designed for them. And that's actually an innovation by Taiwan, Dale Carnegie, because a lot of our graduates mentioned to us that, I wish I had taken this program much earlier, right? When I was forming my habits and attitude. So based on their request, we designed a program. We received approval from our U.S. headquarters, and then we started running this program. And right now there's almost 4,000 students in the summer and the winter break. They will come back and take this class
so every year.
About 4,000. Yeah,
and
then some people.
Quite sizable.
Yeah, they will fly back from the U.S., and overseas. When they come back from Taiwan for vacation, they would take this program. Yeah.
Is the youth program offered elsewhere at the Dale Carnegie Training?
Yeah, after we started doing it and then becoming successful with it, several other countries and areas started running the youth program. But it's not as big of an operation as us. I guess the Chinese parents and Taiwanese parents are very focused on developing their kids,
developing their children. And what are some of the specific classes that you teach as a trainer? In addition to leadership classes that you mentioned, what other classes do you teach?
I teach the youth program.
Oh, you do?
Believe it or not. Yeah,
I suppose, by the way, you're a father yourself? Do you have kids?
Yes, I have kids. Yeah, I have 2 kids. And the reason is because since all the youth business are concentrated in the summer, we don't have enough trainers. So everyone needs to teach, including myself.
So the president comes in and be a trainer himself.
Yeah. But I think I really enjoy that experience every summer, because then you know that you're making a difference in these kids, because they're at a stage where they maybe have their own ideas. Or they face a lot of pressure, maybe peer pressure or academic pressure to study and to achieve. And if they have I noticed that if they have the confidence and the enthusiasm or the self-management skills to do the right thing, then they can really, it makes a big difference for them, because they are like a blank paper, right? There are many things you can do so that they can develop the successful habits for the future.
But the youth program is only open for high school and college students, and not to people younger.
Yeah, it's actually a good question. Many parents ask us. So this year we're starting we're going to do some research and development to help elementary school kids, and maybe 4th grade and up.
Okay. So that 10 years old and up.
10 years and up,
okay.
yeah. So we're designing that program because we noticed that parents are having trouble earlier.
Yes, right.
With their kids than before.
Yeah, especially with the amounts of, information available.
That's right.
They may have already had an impact on the kids, and the parents don't know about it yet. Right. So, it's probably better. You're the boss. So, but something for Carnegie program to think about, maybe starting even younger than the high school students. But let's go back to the leadership classes that you teach, and then you also do that with the corporate
sector.
Yes. And how do you like that experience as a trainer with the top CEO or the heads of the small and medium-sized businesses and teach them about the leadership qualities and the orientation they want to take their business next? How does that experience benefit you?
Yeah, I think it's really a very rewarding experience to work with top companies in Taiwan. Because for companies who are serious about training, it's usually they're successful. They know how important this is. For example, we helped the Shanghai Bank to transition because they're more focused on business banking before, and they want to make a transition to consumer banking, housing loans and things like that. So, but they notice that their people don't have the attitude or the skills to go out and build up this business.
To be more proactive.
Proactive, yeah. So we designed a program to help them, starting from the managers. How do you run and lead a sales team? And before it's just the branch manager who's the salesperson. Everybody else is just helping this branch manager. Now that everybody needs to build up this selling skill, then we designed several programs to help them achieve that objective. And then I think that business, as a result of our training, grew 80%. The loan balance.
Terrific.
So. Making a difference is what I really enjoy.
And among the different roles that you play, Gerard, as a business executive and also a trainer yourself, which role do you like better? And among the classes that you teach, you said that you enjoy being part of the youth program. And do you have any preference among the classes you teach? As well?
I think I enjoyed teaching classes where I can make a difference. Yeah. And I'm very lucky that most of the class I teach, that happens. But unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah, because you're very effective.
Yeah, I think in our job, it's in life as well. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So you have many practice and experience. And I found out that what makes the difference is if people are motivated. If they're willing to change and motivated to change, then the program will be a success. But on the opposite side, no matter how good the skill or the techniques you're teaching them, if the participant don't want to change, then it won't make a difference.
So that's precisely the next question I was going to ask you, Gerard. Of course, you have a lot more business experiences than myself, but I often look at some of the corporate stories that we read in magazines or in newspapers that a lot of times you can teach people skills, how to deal with a certain problem, how to deal with people. But how can you teach them about passion, about their love for their work? They must, like you said, they must have that motivation to want to change, to want to be different than the way they were before.
That's right.
Is that something that you could teach, or is something can be learned through programs like yours?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question, because in Dale Carnegie, he always believed that people have a lot of potential. But we're bound by it's called the comfort zone. We're comfortable with things.
Comfortable with this.
With things that we like, and we're not comfortable with things that we don't know. We don't know. We're not good at. We assume that we're not good at. For example, one of the very prominent graduate of the Dale Carnegie program is Warren Buffett. It's a very richest man in the world.
Investor.
Investor. He knew that he was not very good at speaking to the public or communicating to the public. He's a very smart man, but he can't do this very well. So he signed up for the Dale Carnegie program. But But after he found out how we train people, he immediately went to the bank to cancel his check. Cancel payment,
really?
so he doesn't have to take it. Yeah. Because in our class, you have to practice. You have to, for example, in practicing how to communicate better, you have to actually make a 2-minute speech every night, for each session. And he was very afraid, so he canceled his check. Oh, really? And then 2 years later, he found out that, he has to deal with this because people want to know about his philosophy, why he's successful, and he can't talk to them. So he signed up again. Okay. This time he paid for it by cash, so he cannot regret.
He cannot go back.
So I think the challenge is how do you make that first step, and decide to make a breakthrough. Yes. And then in our class we do what is called immediate coaching. For example, you're doing something, we will stop you, and then we give you a suggestion. You try again, and then you'll feel the difference, so that you develop successful habits and skills.
And do you find that sometimes with different corporations, different cultures, that it is so difficult to have a universal formula to be applied to all of them?
Yes, definitely. Especially depends on who you're training. For example, I noticed that when I train salespeople, the atmosphere is always very participative and everybody's enthusiastic. Yes. But if you ask them to do any homework, I think out of 10 of them, maybe 8 of them didn't do it. They didn't do it, but they talk a good game, but they have a challenge in that area. Okay. So when I deliver training programs to engineers, they might be not so participative. No. They're very silent, hold back, introverted, introverted, and so you have to work really hard to solve that problem. But they always do their homework.
That's
They're
right.
very disciplined.
Yeah, so that is very different. You have sometimes to tailor the contents of your classes to the students.
To the students,
yes.
Right.
We're going to take another short break, and we'll be right back to the Taiwan Outlook, and we will continue our conversation with Mr. Gerard Hei, who is the president of the Dale Carnegie Training Program here in Taiwan. We'll be back shortly.